All right, welcome back to Channel 6 TV, Community Focus here in Nelson County. I'm Kenny Fogle. Glad you could join us tonight. And as we're on cable TV tonight, I want to talk a little bit about cable TV. We've got Jeff Mills here with us tonight. Jeff is the well, I don't know the exact title, but I always say the head guru of cable TV in Bardstown and Nelson County. And first of all, Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kenny.
All right, well, cable TV, and that's what we basically want to talk a little bit about. Is you've got a lot to offer up there that some of us don't know about. I mean, basically, cable TV has come a long way in the last, well, I guess in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, basically, you're looking at just some regular channels, and you add on a few more channels, and you got a few more options, you got a few plans, right, tiers, or whatever they call it. So you're getting into some major business now, aren't you?
Sure. I mean, since the city bought the system in 1985, it's come, as you say, a long way from the 12 channels and the camera in the head-in shack out off of Tucker Drive that pan back and forth for the weather, you know, the barometer and the thermometer and the wind speed indicator. So yeah, it's really a broadband plant with a lot of moving parts in it now. I remember getting a letter from a lady during our digital transition that said, why can't TV just be TV anymore? And we certainly sympathize with folks that don't like a lot of change, but we're also driven to provide the most state-of-the-art.
And you got to be competitive. I mean, everything's about black and white like Gunsmoke anymore. I mean,
right.
So when you be competitive, you've got to add new channels, you got to add new packages and things of that nature because people are demanding a lot.
Sure. So there's always a bell curve of interest, and we try to stay in the biggest part of the bell, and we have a programming committee, citizen advisory committee. It's actually ordained as the sole selector of content on the network.
Well, it does give, like I said, it gives people I guess this is what my argument always been. I've heard people talk about Dish Network or DirecTV, and I said, okay, if you've got a problem with Dish Network and DirecTV, who do you call? First of all, and if you want to get something changed, who do you call? Well, right here, I can drive up to your office, call you on the phone, send you an email, and I know I'm going to get to somebody that is going to make a decision or going to help me out rather than calling. I don't know where these places are, to be honest with you, New York, Miami, California, but that's one thing I do like about Bardstown Cable is you've got somebody there to respond to your question and help right here at home.
Sure, and if you don't get the answer you thought you should have gotten, then there's always the mayor's office. What cable company can you actually call the mayor's office and get escalated, if you will, on your issue or your ticket? So we try to offer as much different packaging as the programmers will allow us. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand.
Well, that's a part of my question was going to be. I don't think people do understand that. How do you go about, like I think we just had something with AMC or something like that. Who are you actually negotiating with? AMC?
Ultimately, we are a member of a cooperative, the National Cable Television Cooperative, that negotiates on our behalf, and the 800 other members, roughly 4 million subscribers total. Yeah. Would do those actual negotiations on behalf of the whole membership. But the programming contracts themselves are full of constraints about where we can package that content. They dictate that. We get the best deal that we can, financially and carriage-wise. But ultimately, it's ESPN that says we will be in expanded basic, right beside ESPN2 and below channel 36. So I mean, those are specifically spelled out, and the more powerful the content, then the more demanding they seem like they can become. Now AMC tried to leverage their popularity of The Walking Dead, which is quite popular.
There's no denying that. I don't get it, but some people like it.
And to force us to carry 5 more channels in expanded basic, that was unprecedented in any of the contracts we've signed recently. I think Ted Turner championed that bundle early in cable's history, with the CNN and TBS and TNT. and the rates were reasonable.
Yeah. So if you they assume you take one real popular channel, stick in a few extras, and
Sure.
they got more advertising opportunities.
Absolutely. Oh, and Turner did it right because
Yeah.
all of his channels were pretty popular.
Yeah.
You know, the Walking Dead leveraging the carriage of say BBC World that we
Yeah.
don't even carry today
Right.
in expanded basic, and everybody's got to pay for it whether they like it or not. That was really kind of hard for the membership to swallow, including Bardstown. Plus pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the rate, how it ended up, we definitely paying more money,
Yeah.
pretty much for AMC,
Yeah.
and because of our size, we were exempted with the status quo carriage.
Well, I know this even happens with local stations, WHS, Wave 3, some of them, all of a sudden they get to the point where they say, hey, we're more valuable than we think we are, and we're going to hold you hostage a little bit. And
Every 3 years.
3 years, and they play these games. Obviously, everybody wants more money. I mean, if you're in business, that's what you're in business for, to make more money. But if you get so out of whack with everybody else, how much are you really worth? And I guess that's a hard thing to negotiate.
So yeah, we've got it structured now that even those broadcast channels, when they raise those rates, automatically increase the retail rate of expanded basic. So, and in 2013, we styled most of the other packages that same way. Our retail cost that we charge customers is the wholesale cost plus a fixed number, call it a customer charge.
Yeah.
In our case, in this latest ordinance, that's $10. And it was 13 in 2004.
So actually, your profit margin has gone down.
There's no profit.
Well, your break-even margin is
sure, that's right. And collectively, if you take a look at the operation of both the cable department and the internet department, because you can't have a cable modem without cable.
So I know you got expanded basic. Then what the next tier above that? I think it was digital.
Well, actually, we start with just the low end tier basic service,
right, the first 12,
2 through 22, something like that. Then it's expanded basic on top of that. A lot of cable companies call that classic cable.
Yeah.
And then there's digital basic on top of that.
And the reason is why would something be in digital rather than in an expanded? I mean, you've got to make that decision. Like if some station you're adding on.
It's kind of, if they'll allow it, that's where we want to put it. I know that sounds a little weird, but to offer as much choice to people as possible. A la carte is simply not allowed by any.
Well, I was going to mention Congress doesn't even allow that, does it? Or FCC, whoever it is, I don't know.
You know, they really kind of just wash their hands of that, and they say let the market cure that.
Yeah. And
maybe it will as some of these over-the-top options, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, start to put pressure on the whole model, if you will.
Well, that's why I've always wondered why I couldn't just cafeteria, just pick out, say, I never watch this station, I don't want it. I'll just take the ones I watch, and it might cut me down to 10 or 12 stations, but you can't do that.
ESPN won't allow it. However, we did have an option, a flexibility option to us. It's very limited. Only 3.5% of our total subscribers can take this new economy tier, we call it. It's basically just take all the sports channels out of expanded basic and digital basic for that matter. Because it's in a different location in our spectrum, it has to have a box. It's encrypted, but it was ready to go. We styled the ordinance that way. All the contracts allow for that to that point, that 3.5%. That's the Fox contract actually is the constraint on that one. So when we hit that number, we're going to have to stop taking sign-ups for it.
Well, digital basic, now again, it's the next tier, and then you got several movie channels.
And there's one more tier. There's an extended digital basic on top of that. So, and again, whatever will allow us to put it there is where we put it. And then we have the premium service.
Premium service. And I know you've got to some degree, I don't know if this is available countywide, some sort of pay-per-view. Now, is that something you're working on? Or
we have had traditional, what we call linear, or it's basically on a grid, and you watch it, the movie starts at 8, so you want to start at 8 and watch the movie.
Okay.
We've had that for some time on digital boxes. We have launched this week, our video on demand product. And that, of course, takes a box, but that button right in the middle of the control.
Now, what will that do? Is I could go through and pick out a movie I like, or
right? We have some free stuff. And we have some transactional stuff.
Yeah.
It's same as DVD release in a lot of cases from a company called In Demand. And we have a lot of content for our expanded basic channels. Lifetime Movie Network's got a boatload of movies in it. Sci-Fi Channel, or the Walking Dead last year's episodes as you get ready.
Just watch them a year later. I mean, there you
well,
go.
it's just binge watch it, and it's in HD, which is awesome. So that's brand new, and we've been working on that for some time, and still working some of the bugs out.
The beautiful thing about cable that I like is that, and I know I've talked to several people that's got Dish and things of that nature, is weather really doesn't have that much of effect on the cable. I mean, it's underground, it's out of the way. It's not like you have to worry about your satellite being blown out of the driveway.
Or rain fade.
Or rain fade or anything.
Get the snow out of it. Yeah, we get the snow out of one dish for 8,000 people.
So I guess my question is, why would anybody go anywhere else on cable?
You know, there are some more bells and whistles, I guess, with some of the satellite offerings. You know, 6 tuners. And people want to record 6 things at once.
I'm really interested in 6 shows. I can't even find one half the time.
Right. I think another thing that happens is the promotional pricing. Yeah. We don't have any form of temporary promotional pricing, and I think we've got it as low as we can get it with 0 markup on the programming. And we just don't get into that game of after 13 months we're going to start jacking it out. Yeah. And charge you what? Because I mean the programming costs for Dish and Direct and AT&T and others is what we're paying pretty much. I mean that was kind of a driver for AT&T to buy Direct TVs to get more bargaining power. Yeah. The 13th month, what is that going to cost you? And then you got to call them and hassle them and say, oh, I'm going to switch, and they'll renew you for a little while, and ultimately that promotional pricing runs out of gas because they've got to pay that programming bill. 80%, before we marked it to 0 markup, it had gone from 1998 from 30% of our retail rate to 80% of our retail rate in 2011 to 100% of our retail rate in 2013.
What's the hardest part of the bargaining? Obviously, like with AMC, I mean, you know that they're charging too much, and it's going to be hard. You got to pass that on to somebody else, but you're getting pressure from the public, obviously, saying, "Hey, we want AMC, we want The Walking Dead." And so here you are, knowing that takes away a lot of your bargaining power. Obviously,
gun on both sides of your head. It sure does. You do the best you can, and the co-op guides its members on those negotiations, and in this particular case, they were so contentious. Yeah. They said, "You better be prepared to drop this one." Yeah. And so we did. Yeah. And sent that, it gets retweeted, and AMC really softened to their position after a number of members dropped them, and so it works.
Well,
we do have an option, and we don't have to carry some of this content, particularly since there are other avenues that people can go and seek those things out. There is a limit.
Yeah. It's just like anyone, I'm not going to use this as a government service, but it's just like somebody says they want their pothole fixed, but they don't want to pay for road taxes. I mean, you've got the trade-off is there that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Somebody's got to pay the bill.
Right. It's a good thing. It's a discretionary service. Excuse me. So I mean, it is. And in the end of the day, just cable TV.
Now, how would somebody like myself, if I wanted everything you've got to offer? I mean, what would I be looking at? It's not necessarily just in cost, but what would I say when I called up there? I just want everything you got to offer, or is there a package for that?
Yeah, we don't really have a slick package name for the whole
works,
the whole enchilada or whatever. Yeah. So those. I don't have all those.
Well, I know, but basically you need to go in and
I would think if a couple, for instance, might want a DVR in the living room and a smaller client box in the bedroom, connected via whole home. We offer that service to where the little box can talk to the big one and record on it as well, and probably would get expanded basic, digital basic on top of that,
Yeah.
and Stars Encore. That's my favorite package.
Yeah.
That's
Then
most
how would
economical.
and then with the video on demand, is that a special package or is that just something?
Comes with the box.
Comes with the box.
And whatever you're subscribed to, you would have access to that content.
Now DVR. I don't have a DVR, but if that's something that I would rent through Bardstown cable and that DVR, and now I can. Here I am. I'm going to talk about things I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's much like a DVD player. I'm recording shows and playing them back, and it's all digital.
Right.
But how is that how DVR works?
Yes, it stands for digital video recording.
Yeah, well, I knew I had an idea, but I've never seen one.
And you just find content that you want on the grid, the guide grid that's in the box. It holds 2 weeks of programming. You can set up series recordings. So every time the Tonight Show's on, record it. Cause
I'm getting older. I can't stay up as late as I used to.
And you can tell it new episodes only, what to do when the hard drive gets full. Do you overwrite the oldest stuff, or make sure don't ever delete my Jimmy Kimmel Live?
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I didn't know it was that smart. So basically, to get all this, you'd have to have. Now, is this two separate boxes now? We're looking at a DVR and a digital box?
Yeah, if you were just a single guy, you'd probably just get by with the one DVR, probably, wherever your favorite viewing area would be. The good news is in this latest ordinance, we just lowered the rates for those. The recording DVR is $10 a month, and we just lowered that to $8, and the non-recording one. And that gives you the guide in HD.
So you can use a DVR just on basic and any kind of, you don't need all that expanded.
You could get basic service 2 through 22, a box, and all the pay channels, and save a lot of money and have a lot of content to watch that way too.
I'm learning all kinds of things. I'm tickled to death you come in here today because I think a lot of people out there are like me. They know that there's a lot to offer, but they don't know exactly how to go about it, and they don't know maybe what right questions to ask. Because again, there's a lot of things you've got available up there that I'm not even. I got a thing in the mail, I guess about a week or two ago, and I'm looking at all this. And I said, "My goodness, how do I go about all this stuff? What do I do?"
That's a good point, and we're trying to hire a person to help us with some of that creative position. We asked the council for it at the last meeting. A media specialist. We've got a young lady that's very good at producing content and videos for us, and we're looking forward to being able to bring her on as a part-time position, and hopefully the city council.
Well, obviously, I know you all do some advertising, but it's not like I said with some of the other satellites. I mean, they're constantly sending you stuff in the mail.
Sure.
You get this thing for $49.95, but 2 years from now it's going to go to $79.95 or something of that nature. But so basically, you're a little behind. I guess you're at a disadvantage in a way because you don't have that advertising budget that they have.
Right, and that's what we're trying to address. I mean, like it or not, as a government department, regardless of being a government department, we are in a competitive media business, and we need to behave accordingly. We're no longer the only game in town, and we certainly are. We feel like in the long haul, we are the cheapest. Yeah. But people can be swayed, and they're in the swaying business, and we need to, I wouldn't call it swaying for us. We need to be in the point out what we have, accentuate the positive.
Exactly, with your attributes. But again, and you've been with this just about since day one, haven't you?
Yeah, the city bought it in '85, and I walked into City Hall in the fall of '87. I think that's part of why.
All right. Well, like I said, we wish you all the best because I know things are changing rapidly. We got a lot of complaints last year, and they said, "Well, what's wrong with the picture?" Well, you're fixing that. Right. And the thing is things don't get fixed overnight. I mean, there's going to be issues and growing pains, and anytime you get technology is changing every day. I guess that's the key to it. Digital may be the thing today. Tomorrow it might be 3D when they're sitting in the middle of your living room. Right. Who knows?
Right. And so that's a very good point. I mean, there are things that can happen in the head end that affects everybody. Yeah, they can look like a local issue at someone's house can look the same way. It can be tiling because the squirrel chewed
Oh,
the drop
I had
wire.
one like that myself. I called you all about 3 times, kept complaining, and finally I found there was an extra. Somebody had installed something wrong. It's just a matter of taking it off and on my box.
Right.
Cleared it up and haven't had a problem since.
That's the lesson. I mean, we don't know it if people don't tell us.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make that ticket. And it was kind of a painful time for us because it just got masked.
Yeah.
You know, those two issues.
Probably stayed off Facebook for about 6 months, didn't you?
I try not to stay on Facebook at all.
Well, Jeff, we do appreciate you being here clearing this up. And if anybody
Jim,
has any questions,
thank
give
you.
Jeff or his staff a call. Jeff Mills at Bardstown City Hall. And again, we're talking about Bardstown Cable TV. And there's a lot to offer with Bardstown Cable TV. Like I said, you can get your basic channels. You got all kinds of other things going on, movies and video on demand on there now. DVRs, I don't know anything about, but I think I might look into. So again, we appreciate everything you're doing, and keep it up and keep us well informed and entertained.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Jeff Mills here with Bardstown City Cable. And stick around, a lot more to come here on the Community Focus on Channel 6 TV. We'll be right back right after these messages.